The problems caused by the Kalanianaole Highway road widening project more than a decade ago are still impacting the State Department of Transportation and local communities today. KITV4's Amberlynn Hayden has details.
The history of the Kalauha'iha'i fish pond stretches back to the day of King Kamehameha. The artesian well fed cold, pristine water into this pond, supporting mullet, koi, and other freshwater marine life, a site that also attracted a man to build his dream home on the lot about 30 years ago.
The homeowner, who had built a nice house with a glass floor so he could see all the fish swimming underneath the house, it was no longer possible.
But since the Kalanianaole Highway widening project in the early 90s, this is how it's changed.
The department installed some utilities, undergrounding the utilities along the highway, ended up damaging a couple of the homes in terms of value. The undergrounding cut off the spring and the source of the water, and the source of the water will never return.
We also thought that the pond might have been destroyed until we learned just recently from the city that the water is actually in the sewer, which is just yards away from the fish pond.
2 houses sat on the Kalauha'iha'i pond. The state condemned one and purchased the other. Another house fronted the Kanevai pond. It has since been torn down, and now that site is just an empty lot. Almost 20 years later, the state is still paying to maintain the properties and the pond sites.
It's unfair to the public for the department to have to maintain and cut grass on a residential lot when these monies could be going towards maintaining the roads.
The DOT tried transferring the properties to other state entities like the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration and the University of Hawaii, but neither have the money to maintain the sites. But because of a law that bars the DOT from selling state land without legislative approval, and House Bill 1665, which prohibits the sale of government-owned ancient fish ponds, DOT says that may not be possible.
We can put our historic fish ponds and freshwater sources up for public auction for the highest bidder, or we can do the right thing and keep them in the public trust forever. So it's a real clear choice.
Although House Bill 1665 was included on the governor's veto list, Morioka says one lot is a natural spring, not a fish pond, so the bill may not technically apply if it does become law.
The other lot where we know it's a fish pond, but we're only 1/10 owner of the lot, there could be some technical issues as well because we're not the true owners of the lot, and the community association actually has the final say.
And state officials have indicated the neighborhood association where the Kanevai pond is located has been fighting the sale to a public owner because the group is against the idea of increasing public access to the site.
That'll be a tragic day for Hawaii when we're selling our historic fish ponds. Imagine the precedent. Whenever fish ponds become inconvenient, we're going to sell them.
Amberlynn Hayden, KITV4 News.